Hello and welcome back to Chasing the Target. In this episode, we'll be reviewing a few games, a few series, and previewing a few games and series. There's not much cricket today, but there was that South Africa Australia game and a Big Bash match. How are you doing, firstly? And yeah, you got it wrong, man. The match was draw in the end.
Yeah, I got it wrong. I mean, there was not much to gamble over there, but yeah, it's fine. I mean, I think how we felt after the Pakistan and New Zealand Test series, I think South Africa must be feeling like that right now. They must be very happy that this tour is over and they can really put it behind them.
Some
Um,
close umpire calls today. Otherwise, I feel Australia could have snuck through.
yeah, quite close calls, but like it's fair enough. भाई चलो at least थोड़ी बहुत इज्जत बच गई साउथ अफ्रीका की बची किसी को. तो मेरे हिसाब से तो आई थिंक काफी चीजें वर्क करने का है साउथ अफ्रीका को. व्हाट वी बीन स्पीकिंग ओवर द होल टेस्ट सीरीज दैट देयर bowling was not up to mark. Batting, a lot of people have to step up, a lot of people have to take responsibility for this. I think a revamping of this team is needed. You mentioned players like Aiden Markham who's sitting in the bench, a lot of other people. I think Tristan Stubbs is someone probably who can come into the side. So there are a lot of South African candidates, and I think it's time for Keshav Maharaj to call quits. A lot of people need to be said bye bye Tata. But yeah, from Australia's perspective, अगर अपन देख रहे हैं भाई, ऑस्ट्रेलिया आने वाली है, बनता है ऑस्ट्रेलिया, लग देने वाली है, ऐसा लग रहा, डर हो रहा मेरे को तो ऑस्ट्रेलिया से.
दो चीजें एक तुम जो बोले आई थिंक वन पॉजिटिव दो इज द वे हार्मर एंड महाराज बैटेड आई थिंक दैट्स
Wow.
something that the top order needs to take a lesson from and especially the batsmen who have been given opportunity because of injuries and everything. They've been given an opportunity, they haven't made the most of it, and they should have learned from how the way they applied themselves today. I think it was a very good partnership and it took time out of the game, right? Because pehle innings तभी भी चल रही थी. If they both got out early and they didn't hit those 50s 40s, then Australia would have an even bigger chance to win the game. So I think that's one positive from them. And the way Irby batted in the second innings, that was good. I think Klassen was lucky, usko both chance mile, but he survived until the end, and Hazelwood got him out. So there are a few positives from today, but otherwise, apart from that, I completely agree with whatever you said. And from Australia, for me, the biggest eye test or whatever it is the way Labuschagne was turning the ball. Itta trend kar raha tha na on Sydney. He's
Yeah.
going to bowl in India. This guy looks more dangerous than Steve Smith, and he will bowl. Trust me, now I'm more worried about him as the bowler than batsman if it's a ranked turner.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, शॉक में आ गया था मैं भी, इतना लेवल का कोई टर्न कर रहा था. I mean, I know 2.5 overs डाला उन्हें in the second innings as well. But yeah, overall भाई that's what it is. I think utility players बनाते जा रहे हैं ऑस्ट्रेलिया. ऊपर ना बात करते ये चीज इंडिया में इम्प्लीमेंट करने की, और अब आपको मालूम हो रहा कहीं को जरूरत है to have bowlers who can bat and batsmen who can bowl, right? So I think Labuschagne is going to add with Nathan Lyon in that attack, with Steve Smith in that attack. He's going to add another pressure for us. And yeah, अगर rank turner रहा पिंडे में मिल जा सकते हैं. But again, we also have good quality spinners. I'm quite positive over there. So hopefully.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's just that adds to the dimension of the Australian
Yeah,
unit now, right? It gives them a different dimension to look at. They have an extra spinner. So they have Ashton Agar, Lyon, and then Labuschagne and Smith also. So you have options. So you have to think twice if it's a ranked turner. I still
yeah,
would
and
go
if
with
they
the
even
ranked
take
tunners, but
Zampa ahead with them, नहीं बोल सकते भाई, leg spinner Zampa भी आ सकता बीच में.
वो भी हो सकता है. Zampa या Swepson एक में से किसी को अगर ले लिया तो फिर ऑप्शन रहता. But the way Labuschagne was turning it on in Sydney, I know
Sydney.
Sydney is conducive to spin. Agar imagine a rank turner in Gujarat and Ahmedabad, that will be it'll be heaven for him.
Yeah,
So
100%.
yeah, that's something to watch out for India. But yeah, I think overall this series Australia will be very happy. They couldn't get a result in 3 days, but if it was a 5-day test match, surely they would have won. The way they bowled, very impressive. Hazelwood's comeback, I think, a big plus for him. Again, they will be sweating on some injuries, particularly Mitchell Stark and Cameron Green. Hope they will recover. But this is one thing about Australia. I was reading an article as well on Cricket Info that they're aging now. A lot of players are 30 plus. So one thing that they will have to be very careful with is how they nurture their players in terms of workload management, and how not nurture but yeah, manage their workload, and when to rest them and not to rest them, which series to play. And with the World Test Championship coming up, a big India tour, and plus a World Cup, they'll have to be smart in their rotation. And I think it's time to look at bowlers like Boland and Jai Richardson and Michael Nesser as options in games. Even in big games, I think they can play them, because if you're going to depend on Hazelwood, Stark, and Cummins every single game, firstly they're going to burn out, and secondly there's going to be always a risk of injury.
Yeah, 100%. I think that rotation of squad is very important. But now if I'm seeing like Australia have 1 month off, I think they don't have any season until India, if I'm not wrong. So it's a good break for them, and they've been playing consistent cricket ever since the T20 World Cup and before the T20 World Cup. After the T20 World Cup, they played England and they played West Indies. So I think they just couldn't catch a break, and it more or less a similar kind of a team. Labuschagne was playing, Smith was playing. So I think now with this 1 month off just before the Border Gavaskar tournament, it's perfect time for them to recuperate and sort of get recovered, and then they'll come all guns blazing. But yeah, with reference like you mentioned, like they need to bring Scott Boland, Michael Nesser. I mean, Josh Hazelwood coming to the side is fine, but I felt like Scott Boland, Bichara, he could have played this test match, right? Instead of like maybe Michael Nesser, you got Michael Nesser out of the BBL and you brought him inside here, and you could have just kept Scott Boland and got Josh Hazelwood. That wouldn't have been that like criminal, but Chalta, I mean, in the past, at least they're trying and giving opportunity to everybody. It's good to see new bowling, new bowlers coming in, and like with the likes of Jai Richardson, with the likes of other bowlers in the BBL that we're seeing, Australia definitely have decent enough people in their armory. So yeah, definitely they're building for that future where we know that the likes of Smith and a few more players, maybe Warner, we might not see them in the coming next 2-3 years, maybe.
Speaking of Warner, were you surprised that he got man of the series?
I was quite surprised. One performance ke alawa, I don't think he did much justice for me. Like it was a bit shocking. I think you could have given it to a bowler, maybe some bowler, maybe even Pat Cummins for that matter, because he bowled phenomenally through the whole tournament. But just for a double hundred, maybe maybe the team decided to give it to him. I don't know, for that boost of confidence. I don't know.
That's a positive for Australia, the way they bowl, but also their batters getting runs. Warner,
Yeah.
Khwaja,
Mhm.
Labuschagne, Smith, these guys are their core,
Travis
and
Head.
they're getting runs. And you have Travis Head, like you mentioned, some crazy cameos. So all of their batsmen are looking in form now.
Also, one shout out to Alex Carey, Aro. That guy is very good. Alex Carey, he played that innings, I think in the second test match where he got 100 as well.
Hmm.
And that was a phenomenal innings. He comes and plays good cameos, 22, 25 runs, chip in kar deta on the beach. He knows how to stay on the pitch. He knows, despite his, very short career in test cricket, yet he looks very mature for his thing, and a phenomenal wicketkeeper. We saw him taking every catch possible. So yeah, I mean, he's one to look out for, and definitely they might take him to India.
अगर यार 2019 वर्ल्ड कप में उन्हें था कीपर ऑस्ट्रेलिया का, एंड ही
हाँ,
इम्प्रेस्ड मी फ्रॉम 2018 व्हेन ही केम टू द वनडे थिंग. आई फेल्ट दैट एलेक्स कैरी आपका ऑल फॉर्मेट कीपर बन सकता, बट फिर उसका थोड़ा फॉर्म डिप हो गया. मैथ्यू वेड आ गया वापस कंटेंशन में. देन यू हैव जॉश इंग्लिश इन द T20s. यू हैव लॉट ऑफ ऑप्शंस, बट आई थिंक एलेक्स कैरी, यू आर राइट, ओवरऑल स्पेशली with the gloves he's very good, and with the bat, when he's in form, he's the counter-attacking kind of player. उन्हें डरेगा नहीं. He'll continue to accelerate, and maybe in subcontinental conditions, he can be very useful if he
very
can
good.
play spin well. उन्हें उसका जो run rate, strike rate रहेगा, it will be very useful for Australia.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, और वही है उसका टिकने का. He knows how to, I think he's like you said, accelerate भी करता है, but he also knows the right time to like put the brakes on and sort of irritate the opposition को कैसा सताना, कैसा खींचना, थकाना, वो सब चीजें आते हैं उसको, and he knows how to tire the opposition, play with their temperament, and then घुस के उन्हें मारता. तो वो बहुत पसंद आया उसका ट्रेट मेरे को, and yeah, definitely subcontinent में लेके गए इसको तो एक पर. But yeah, मैं कभी भी वही है यार, डेविड वार्नर को कैसा, do I like David Warner, I love the batsman, but थोड़ा अजीब दिखा था वो तो. खैर मेरे को बेचारे ख्वाजा को 5 रन नहीं दिया यार.
हाँ,
ख्वाजा को 5 रन नहीं दिया यार बैगन.
ना 5 रन नहीं दिए, मगर हाँ वो भी लाइक, आई मीन आई थिंक ही शुड अंडरस्टैंड कि भाई लाइक दे ट्राइंग टू गो फॉर द विन. बारिश हो गई, थोड़ा सा तो समझ जाओ उसको. जाके 5 रन के लिए फिर वापस लेके आएंगे. आई अंडरस्टैंड, बट आई थिंक yeah, but like the situation is a bit different. They didn't they weren't, if they were already playing and it didn't rain at that time, he would have gotten them. Magar extra din barish ho gayi, so I think he did the right call.
But यार वही होता है ना, we always talk about this thing, Mustafa, about the weather and how the ICC or like whichever board is representing whichever country, why don't they plan it accordingly? Like we know Australia में बारिश होती है टाइमों पे, फिर भी वो खतरनाक
नहीं,
पिच.
मगर वही तो है, you can't plan. This is Australian summer. This is peak summer in Australia. वो बारिश पड़ गई सिडनी में, but like December,
फर्स्ट मैच तो
January,
चल रहा था या BBL के तो मैचेस चले.
T20 वर्ल्ड कप वो टाइम पे बारिश का सीजन था, इसलिए बहुत बारिश हो रही थी. बट दिस वन लाइक यू कांट डू, बारिश का कुछ कर नहीं सकते. योर ऑप्शन इज टू डू व्हाट विंबलडन डिड एंड इंडोर स्टेडियम एंड have a roof and use it when it's raining. That is your option.
टेरेस्ट्रियल डोम था यार वो मेरे को जो
हाँ,
अच्छा
वो है अभी भी, बट आई थिंक दे यूज इट
लगा था उसको, याद है छत पे लगा था एक बॉल छत पे.
अब वो भी उन लोग को कैलकुलेट करना पड़ता है कि छत को लगा तो क्या करते, कैसा करते. दे हैव टू मेक हाई सीलिंग्स. बट अब क्रिकेट में पैसा आ रहा है, लाइक फ्रॉम ऑल दिस T20 लीग्स. आई थिंक इट्स हाई टाइम दैट दे get these kind of domes, and so that we get to see more cricket. Na? So yahi hoga. But at the same time, if you see the T20 World Cup, if you see the 2019 World Cup, there's a lot of rain affected games. We still enjoy the World Cup. It adds to the drama. I mean, it's very
ड्रामा कितना हुआ उसमें
frustrating.
definitely. हाँ, ड्रामा भी उतना ही हुआ ना, पाकिस्तान इंडिया का मैच, जिम्बाब्वे पाकिस्तान का मैच.
Imagine अगर वो वॉश आउट हो गए, उसमें बारिश का था प्रेडिक्शन.
Oh, we would have never saw
वो
what
ये like it is very frustrating, but it
one
adds
less,
to the drama.
one less story to tell the kids होता था विराट कोहली के बाद.
Yeah, 100%. Let's go into the eye test for a bit and discuss also the India Sri Lanka. Will give the players
People
some
joining
ratings.
us, please bring in your question. आप कोई सवाल आए, कुछ discussion करना है, आ जाओ यार बैठक है.
Yeah, 100%. So we'll do a bit of player ratings, like from India and Sri Lanka series. You guys in the comments, whoever has joined us, you can also give your rating for the players. But Faiz, India's opening pair of Shubman Gill, Ishan Kishan, what are you going to give them, one each?
Out of 5, out of 10?
Out of 10.
Out of 10, I would give Ishan Kishan 4.
For that catch, huh? The one
For
in the
that
second.
first innings 37 that he showed intent in, I like the way उन्हें जिस तरीके से निकल के मारा था, but उसके बाद से उन्हें चला नहीं. And obviously that catches and his commanding nature in the wicket keeping department, it's always good to see a wicket keeper like that. Shubman Gill, I would give 5 because he didn't look very good to me throughout, like playing across the line. I think he would actually get a 4 from me as well. Again, I'll go 4 and 4 for Ishan and thing because Shubman only played 1 innings and he took time in that also to settle. But chalo theek hai, anchor ka role kela, he got his form back. So I'll give 4 each to the opener. So what about you?
I probably will agree with that. I'm giving with that 4 to Ishan Kishan. I would probably give him 3.5, but I give half a mark for that catch he took in that second T20. It was a really good catch. And his keeping was pretty good. So, yeah, 4 out of 10. Shubman Gill also, yeah, like I think he played sensibly yesterday. He played the anchor role. He 8 balls, but the situation allowed him to do that. The way Surya and Tripathi were hitting, it allowed him to do that. And how much would you give Surya Kumar?
I can't give Surya Kumar less than 11 out of 10 after yesterday.
I mean, if you take into the context, also the second match he did perform. First match, ठीक है उन्होंने नहीं perform करा. Second match में भी perform करा, and some people even on our panel were criticizing them, but I felt that he played according to the situation in that game. He kept.
Yeah, that like I told you, it's not always about Virat Kohli and Shubman Gill or these guys having to be the anchor. Sometimes you just need to understand कि भाई वो लोग भी wicket खो गए, आप मत खो, आपकी value है wicket की. तो I think playing for a wicket sometimes adding price to your wicket कोई हर्ज नहीं है उसमें. So yeah, मेरे लिए तो I think I'll give him 10 or let's just say 9.5 for that one inning that he didn't perform. Let's just be a little bit stern maybe for him to be consistent. So I'll say 9.5 for Surya Kumar.
And then our favorite bowler right now, Umran Malik.
Umran Malik, yeah, for me, Sumran has been, I think, an 8.5, I would say, because जिस तरीके से उन्हें वो पेस के हिसाब से उन्हें he bowled in all the 3 matches, he bowled well. I think only in the second match is where he got hit for me 48 runs. That's something that he'll have to work on. First match में 25 runs दिया, third match में मेरे हिसाब से उससे ज़्यादा कम दिया, I think 21 दिया, and he got a lot of wickets throughout the series. He got I think 5-6 wickets if I'm not wrong in the overall 7 wickets. भाई phenomenal, and with every game he's just maturing. तो मेरे लिए तो 8.5 है उमरान मलिक के लिए. Whatever you like.
I'm gonna give him 7 out of 10 because I think he needs to work on his death bowling. He needs to nail those Yorkers more consistently. He has it in the locker, but overall I felt like बहुत जबरदस्त था. Especially his wicket taking balls were a pleasure to watch. It was probably for me the most entertaining thing after Surya's batting was with the stump cartwheeling, right, when Umran was bowling. So I'd probably give him 7, but he has to work on his economy rate. Even like कल भी 2 चौके खा लिया था necessarily Rajita से, like those situations you want him to run through the tail. So I'm being maybe a bit harsh, but that doesn't mean
because you need to clean up. That is where India's problem is, and that's why we're bringing him in, right? So I think वो भी एक aspect है. Now the big question: what about the captain? How do you rate the captain in as a player and then as a captain? Let's take it 2 separate ways for you.
As a player, I'll give him 6 out of 10. I thought he was outstanding with the ball, but poor with the bat, if that makes sense. So 6-7 out of 10,
Poor
maybe.
with the ball?
Huh?
Poor with the bat or poor with the ball?
Poor with the bat, good with the ball.
Yeah.
He didn't have any 50s, right, in this series.
Nothing.
So,
He didn't have anything.
yeah, so
Highest was, I think, was 4
6 to
जो मारा
7 out of 10 you can say, yeah, 6 to 7 out of 10. उसमें भी एक ओवर नहीं डाला उन्हें पहले T20 में, so मैं क्रिटिसाइज तो करूंगा वो तो 6 7 out of 10. Captaincy wise I would give him 8 out of 10. I think it was a very good showing. He made mistakes 100%, but that's completely fine. You're allowed to make mistakes. You're a new captain. It will take time, and this is a new team as well. There's going to be a lot of youngsters, so he has to carry them as well. And the way he used Akshar Patel as both batsman and bowler, I was very impressed. That was a big positive. The way he backed him, Akshar also mentioned that in the post match कि भाई मैं हूँ यहाँ पे तुम जाके खेलो. We got to see a different Akshar Patel with both bat and ball, especially in the limited overs. So I was impressed with his captaincy. The mistakes that he made was in the first T20, like, giving the ball to Akshar Patel, even though he did back him or whatever, but, he should have bowled in that. And there's a few, bowling changes, sometimes he was losing his cool. He has to be a bit patient at times. But overall, I think jo captaincy kara, it was very good for a first series. He was excellent. So I'll give him 8 out of 10.
Okay.
Shanaka, look, I'll drop him a point because you lost the series. So I'd give 7, but with the bat I would give Shanaka maybe a 7.8. I think with the bat, it was really
Shanaka, in crucial stages of the matches, he came in, he sort of held up the fort. Definitely, I think मेरे लिए भी Shanaka is right up there at 8. And he was phenomenal. I think वही bowling के injury होने के वजह से उसकी थोड़ी bowling में कमी दिख गई. He was not able to bowl one. I think yesterday he would have definitely come up as a 6th bowler for Sri Lanka. And we know how he soaks up pressure, and what we've been seeing in form and subcontinent has been phenomenal. But for me, a few more innings outside of this comfort zone of India, Sri Lanka, and maybe Bangladesh, I think then only we can judge Shanaka properly. But yeah, with regards to this tournament, now one interesting person that I want to talk to you about is Chahal. How would you rate Chahal? Because for me, Chahal has been not that great, not that amazing. He's been very average.
You answered my question. 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10. I think even 5 is a bit too much for him. For me, I would say.
No, I thought he bowled well yesterday, and the second game he bowled well apart from that last over. Spinner ko to like छक्के पड़ते हैं, but like experience like him, yeah, I know it is.
That is the Chinnaswamy को अगर अपन देख रहे, he was amazing in Chinnaswamy, and जहाँ पे अपन यहाँ पे राजकोट and दूसरा मैच जब पुणे में
he
था.
bowls or he used to bowl? That's the question.
Yeah, that's
we don't know. अभी IPL में देखना पड़ेगा उन्हें. Has he learned from this?
At least he used to bowl. At least he knows at least experience है. So I would say at least use your experience to that limit.
Maybe he's getting found out as well, right? Because उन्हें इतना cricket खेल लिया, like maybe they're finding him out. It could be that as well. But I felt he bowled well yesterday. He also again you can say that there was no scoreboard pressure on him. Like he had plenty of runs to play with. He could bowl with more, like courage. It didn't matter if he got hit or whatever. But still, I felt he bowled well. And then in the second T20, that last over just spoiled things. Otherwise, I would maybe given him a 6 out of 10. But overall, yes, of course, he has to improve, and there is competition for Chahal as well.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of competition. And yeah, Chahal just I think needs to start.
If you compare to his competition, which is Hasaranga, who just had a better series?
Yeah, I think in that aspect, I would say Chahal did, but Hasaranga did. I think he batted well in the first ODI with Shanaka, or was that Karuna? Huh?
No, that's Karuna Ratne.
Karuna Ratne, right? So, yeah, I guess then you could say Chahal is the better bowler at this point when you compare it to Avanindu in terms of the series.
In the series. Overall, Hasaranga is outstanding, but
phenomenal. He just lost himself somewhere, I think, in the hitting and stuff, and he just got
I rate Hasaranga really highly. So if he's getting hit more than Chahal, that means Chahal, I'm not going to be too tough on him in that thing. But yeah, of course, I have criticized him in the past, and he will probably be in danger of losing the spot if he doesn't continue to be consistent and try to improve his game.
Yeah, 100%. I think he just has to innovate some new deliveries. I think he's just going to find new ways of getting people out, or probably at least making sure that economical, like you can say Rashid Khan in that matter. Rashid Khan does, maybe sometimes he doesn't get wickets, but wo jo runs bachate na, that is what he does.
उन्हें आदिल रशीद भी बचाया था वर्ल्ड कप में, देख लो उतने विकेट नहीं दिया उन्हें. Yeah, तो उन्हें बहुत accurate भी था. And as a leg spinner, I think also maybe the turn that he gets, maybe you want to see a bit more turn, like Rashid's googly, Adil Rashid's googly थोड़ा ज़्यादा spin होता, leg spinner also थोड़ा ज़्यादा turn होता. Maybe it's that Anshul भाई सिंह हुदा की series average रही है. I think if अगर हुदा को देखे तो उसको bowling नहीं मिली. I was disappointed with that. फर्स्ट मैच आई फेल्ट ही वाज द वन ऑफ द क्रूशियल प्लेयर्स, उसके वजह से उतने रन बनाए और जीते उसके, और अक्षर पटेल का जो पार्टनरशिप था, राइट?
Yeah.
तो दैट वाज अ वेरी की कंट्रीब्यूशन. Yesterday he was just he had to go for it. He hit a boundary and then he got out. I'm not going to blame him. Second T20, that's maybe you expected. Yeah, of course, he failed in that one. He should have looked to build a partnership with Surya and cement his place in the T20 side. But apart from that, I think it's okay series. It wouldn't be like really bad. So you can say average.
Yeah, I think it's average, but वही होता है ना कि अंशु भाई, आई थिंक हुडा को अभी भी चांस देना चाहिए थोड़ा और, बिकॉज उसके साथ ऐसा सिचुएशंस थे कि भाई इन लाइक वी सेड इन द थर्ड मारो या मरो टाइप था. फर्स्ट वाले में तो उन्हें आपकी जान बचा लिया. सेकंड वाले में मे बी एकदम लाइन से कोई इतना अच्छा पारी खेलना मुश्किल है. आई मीन एक्सपेक्टेशंस बढ़ जाते हैं अपने, एंड आई थिंक उसके लिए वो सिचुएशन थोड़ा नया भी होगा. ही डिड टेक अ लॉट ऑफ बॉल्स, ही डिड आई थिंक टेक कुछ 9 रन मारे थे आई थिंक 21 बॉल्स में. तो मेरे हिसाब से थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा दीपक हुडा को भी एज अ प्रॉपर फिनिशर बनने, बट उसको चांस, ही इज वन ऑफ दोस हु कैन बी अ प्रॉपर फिनिशर फॉर इंडिया.
I think also first the impact of innings, right? Rahul Tripathi probably has the same amount of runs as Huda. Like दोनों एक ही इनिंग खेले, मगर त्रिपाठी जिस तरीके से खेला, काउंटर अटैकिंग ये वो, तो मे बी आप बोलेंगे कि भाई त्रिपाठी को कुछ मिलो. He had a good, he had a good outing, and one match he didn't play, one match he failed. So उसको मत बोलो. But that's the thing, the impact of the innings as well. So Huda, if we calculate it in a different way, it was very impactful, but maybe strike rate wise, Tripathi looked better to the eye as well, and he looked better in terms of strike rate and scoring runs at a very good rate, like a T20 kind of rate.
Yeah, I think त्रिपाठी का ये भी था कि because ईशान got out, he felt more like an opener. तो it's like opener ने अपने को एक start kind of दी थी. But whereas if you see दीपक हुडा जब आया था भाई, सब लोग मर गए थे, सब चले गए थे. तो I think वहाँ पे मेरे लिए दीपक हुडा would probably have a better, and obviously he played all the 3 games and Tripathi played 2. And in the second T20 also Tripathi got out very poorly, I think. So I think abhi bhi mere liye Deepak Huda would stand out. Yes, Tripathi has showed a lot of intent and aggression and जबरदस्त maturity बताया, but उन्हें कहीं over excitedness में आके उन्हें वो जो shot मारा, unexplainable था वो मेरे को. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of good positives that are coming out, but मेरे को अभी भी हुडा के साथ थोड़ा biasness होगा. Not just because he's a Sunriser, but like just otherwise.
Huda is not a Sunriser.
Was like.
Oh, he was a Sunriser. Acha, yeah. No, for me, like I would like to see him given the ball as well. Then we can see, right? अगर उसको खाली बैटिंग पे वो रहेंगे, तो आपके पास कंपटीशन बहुत रहेगा. फिर सैमसन भी आ सकता है, इन्हें भी आ सकता है, उन्हें भी आ सकता है. श्रेयस अय्यर will also put his hat in the circle. So there will be a lot of options. If he starts bowling, then he's your utility player. Then uska banta ahead of other things. Yes, he had one really good innings, and I appreciated that innings. I felt it was a crucial innings. लेकिन अगर आप overall देखें, तो what does he bring? He compared to the other batsmen, there are also other batters who are in form who can also smash it, who can finish innings. What does he bring? He brings bowling, so I need him to bowl. Then
bowling, I think also fielding to an extent. He's a very good fielder.
Yeah,
very
as well.
Yeah.
Fielding as well. And it'll be interesting to see क्या होता है in the New Zealand T20 series, कैसा squad pick होगा और ये सिमिलर प्लेयर्स बैक होंगे नहीं होंगे, उस हिसाब से फिर देखेंगे. आई थिंक यू वन द सीरीज, तो मोस्ट ऑफ देम शुड बी बैक्ड. मगर वहां पे भी अगर परफॉर्मेंस नहीं आती, फॉर एग्जांपल ईशान किशन की या लाइक नॉट अर्शदीप बट लाइक चाहल की, फिर दे माइट बी अंडर द रेडार इन टर्म्स ऑफ द T20 थिंग. लाइक सो या इट विल डिपेंड ऑन दैट, उस हिसाब से.
वो तो है. But in terms of अगर श्रीलंका को जा रहे अपन just for play rating sake, who would you say like I know the openers underperform, but anyone else that comes to mind in terms of poor performance overall? Like let's not take the Hassana. For me it was Dhananjay Silva. But even if you look at someone who you really back, and I know you've spoken about him quite a lot on this podcast, Rajapaksa, right? Rajapaksa ek bhi match nahi chala. He was the one who would sort of generate the innings and accelerate the innings, but unhe aake, he tried to hit Umran Malik down third man for a 6, and the first one he got bowled. So yeah, overall Rajapaksa, like expectations kya the, and like he didn't deliver. So your thoughts?
उन्हें हर वक्त like IPL में high risk cricket खेलता, but for Sri Lanka I've seen him play more mature innings. For example, that Asia Cup final was very good, very mature. So I was kind of disappointed. Form नहीं थी उसकी. Also some bad shot selection. You expect more from him, and yeah, you could say he was the disappointment for me from Sri Lanka, because उन्हें एक player है कि भाई अगर उन्हें खड़े के खेला तो फिर किसी की भी टीम को हरा सकता उन्हें. He's that kind of player. But not even one innings he didn't contribute. He got dropped in the end. So it was disappointing. But Rajapaksa, always you have to watch out for him. Also, Faiz, remember before this Asia Cup and everything, he was dropped because of fitness and then argument with the board and this and that. Then they brought him back. Because that first T20 World Cup, he was impressive. Usko drop maar diye the because of fitness issues and whatever. They brought him back and he played well in the Asia Cup. I just hope that they don't keep dropping him and think you have to still back a player like that. Waisa player aap back karna chahiye. He's allowed 2-3 bad series because he's someone on his day can smash it. But of course, that doesn't mean ki unhe aisi khelte jao aur performance mat do. He has to also understand shot selection har waqt, especially agar aap away conditions में खेल रहे, थोड़ा सा देख के भी खेलना पड़ता कभी-कभी.
Yeah, 100. और मेरे हिसाब से I think Daswan Shanaka is that kind of a captain जो देता आपको opportunity, to perform and stuff. But अगर अपन उसके last, 5 innings भी उठा के आप देख लो, it's not been very, happening. I think पूरे like zeros भी है, fours भी है, तो उन्हें quite some time तक he has been given a लंबी रस्सी. Even in the LPL उतने खासे, इतना बड़ा नाम जितना है उसका श्रीलंका में, he's not been living up to it. उसके बाद आपको फर्स्ट T20 भी दिया, सेकंड T20 भी दिया, फिर अब अश्का फर्नांडो आ गया आपकी जगह में. I think it's rightfully done. And Shanaka, like I said, he knows how to balance his team and he knows कि भाई when to give who to give how much time and when to like pull the thread. So I think वो situation में तो problem नहीं होनी चाहिए.
मेरे को श्रीलंका भी इम्प्रेस करा. वो नहीं था नहीं अक्सर को मारा 3 छक्के. Like I watched him a couple times live also, and I was always impressed with his batting. I just like the way he bats, and he was very impressive in this series. But again, trying to convert that and into big innings, that will be the key for him moving forward. लेकिन मेरे को पसंद आया उन्हें जैसा खेला, इंटेंट दिखाया और अच्छे शॉट्स खेला, उन्हें रख के दिया. तो
I think T20 World Cup में भी उसकी एक innings थी, if I'm not wrong, श्रीलंका की.
कोई 50 मारा था. Even in the last T20 में भी उन्हें कुछ मारा था ऑस्ट्रेलिया या किसी के अगेंस्ट. तो उन्हें like he's a talented player and it's just about consistency और इकट्ठे runs मारना, खाली एक इनिंग में 2 इनिंग में नहीं, just continuously try to score runs. And because he has that talent, उसके पास है shots, timing है, बड़ा shot भी, boundary clear करना उसको कोई problem है नहीं. तो I think he's somebody that I will keep an eye out, and I was impressed with him in this series.
Yeah, 100%. And even in the fielding department, he was there. I think over extra cover में ही था उन्हें कहीं. तो fielding wise भी अच्छा है. Yeah, he could be one potential player. Even Kusal Mendes showed us glimpses. Opening में he did show us glimpses के clearing the
Mendes
boundary.
and Nissanka both, right? They had good.
I'll be like Mendes got going and then एकदम उन्हें out हो गया था. So मेरे हिसाब से I think the Sri Lanka unit patches में है. It just once they come together and then they'll definitely be a force of reckoning, and definitely they could do again damage. Asia Cup आ रहा, World Cup आ रहा, like you said, subcontinent condition में अगर ऐसा अच्छा खेले 2020 में, then 50-50 में they will be someone that we'll have to look out for.
और मेन चीज अगर देखो तो this unit has been playing together now for the last 2 years. So they played 2 World Cups together, they played an Asia Cup together. So they're building a momentum, they're building some experience, and they're understanding each other's games. And that's why you see them, like even against India, they're competing. They beat them in the Asia Cup. यहाँ पे they almost won the first game, they won the second. Okay, ठीक है, they lost the last one convincingly. लेकिन they came to compete. It wasn't like a whitewash, it wasn't a walkover. And this is why, because they have a good, talented bunch who have been playing together regularly now.
एंड वैसे पारी के बाद जैसे सूर्य कुमार कल खेला, आई थिंक अच्छों के हवा उतर जाती थी. आप जब 228 बोर्ड पे देख लेते हैं, आपको एक तरीके से लगता है, यू फील लाइक oh my god, match is done. Because in a T20 match, obviously it sort of plays with your mind. You go to hit like what we were discussing कल, you go to hit and उसमें आप आउट हो जाने की बहुत वो रहता. At least if Sri Lanka opener stood and probably gave them a very good boost of 90 or 100 or something, then maybe it could have changed the dimension of the game and the thought process. But otherwise, it's hard. Even in the second T20, they showed good resilience. जहाँ पे मार खा रहे थे 13th over में, जो वनिंदु को मारा था छिक्के चौबे, अक्सर was looking like next level. उधर भी they showed good like mentality and headstrong रह के they finished off the game. So I think थोड़े बहुत nooks and corners तो obviously हर टीम में रहते. And like you said, they're playing here since 2 years together, तो team chemistry तो बेहतरीन है. So hopefully we see them bounce back in the next tournament or in the ODIs maybe. I'm not hopeful. I'm just saying as a neutral fan.
Yeah. So that's good. Wraps it up in terms of this series. If the T20 series, if you guys have any of your player ratings, who do you think was the best player? Let us know in the series. Give us like one from each team and how much you'd rate them.
Best player one Sri Lanka, India से worst place one India, Sri Lanka से. What do you feel?
Send that in the comments. Let's go into fresh off the press and आज की ताज़ी खबर discuss करेंगे. पहली चीज ये है कि मैं बाबर आजम का प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस देखा भाई, और फिर यू हैव टू वॉच इट ब्रो। खतरनाक सवाल पूछते हैं इन लोग यहाँ पे, दे डोंट केयर, सीधा गन पॉइंट पे पूछते हैं, दे डोंट डिफरेंट टू अदर थिंग्स। उसको पहले क्या सवाल था, गेस करो।
कि आप मैच जीतने की इंटेंट से नहीं गए क्या बोल के?
नहीं नहीं। तो उन्हें बोला, जर्नलिस्ट बोलता है आई नो वाइड बॉल का है, मगर ही बेसिकली ही स्टार्टेड ऑफ सेइंग सचिन तेंदुलकर, ब्रायन लारा और 2-3 नाम लिया। जबरदस्त बैट्समैन थे मगर कप्तानी अच्छे नहीं करे। आप भी जबरदस्त बैट्समैन है मगर आप बैक टू बैक टेस्ट सीरीज हारे और फिर ये ड्रॉ करे, आप जीत रहे नहीं टेस्ट मैचेस। तो अगर आपको ऐसा लग रहा है कि आप छोड़ दे कप्तानी, तो उन्हें बोला कि भाई नहीं, देखो ये वाइट बॉल का सीरीज, वाइट बॉल के सवाल पूछो, रेड बॉल का भी नहीं है, मैं जवाब नहीं दूंगा। तो
ओहो।
so I don't think, like, from both sides it's not right or wrong. He has the answer, right to answer. He has the right to. He's still, like, jawab diya. He could have walked out and say, he could have, like, questioned him. He could have done stuff. He didn't. But that's what I'm saying. Pakistan में मुफत सवाल पूछते. They don't, like,
बट यही तो होना, मैं वही बोलता, देखो मुस्ताद, वहां को यहाँ पे अपने पास इंडिया में वेर वेरी लाइक स्केर्ड, या वेर वेरी लाइक सोशल इमेज कैसे, बिकॉज़ बीसीसीआई का पावर तो मालूम सबको ऑब्वियसली, आई मीन कंपेयर टू लाइक अ पाकिस्तान बोर्ड। बट पाकिस्तान के जो मीडिया वाले डरते नहीं यार, सीधा मुंह पे बोल देते। अब इंडिया में आप देख लो, वे स्टिल वेटिंग टू गेट क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम विराट, वेल ड्रॉप्ड और नॉट, इंजरी का रिकवरी क्या है, ये तो बहुत छोटे मुद्दे हैं। आई एम सेइंग ये जो सवाल कोई पूछा, अगर आप कैप्टन ने, भाई मेरी तो पड़ जाती थी, अरे यार उन्होंने क्या पूछ लिया, sorry wrong number, sorry I didn't understand the question, pardon बोल के मैं परेशान में आता था।
हाँ, तो वही। और एक सवाल ये था सरफराज के बारे में। 4 साल उसके वेस्ट हुए, उन्हें बेंच पे बैठा, मगर उन्हें आके जो परफॉर्मेंस दिया, आपको पछतावा है क्या कि उन्हें 4 साल बेंच पे था? एंड क्या राय है, और उस वनडे में आ सकता है क्या वापस वो? बिकॉज टेस्ट में तो जबरदस्त करा, तो उन्हें तारीफ करा, फिर जवाब ये था कि सरफराज जबरदस्त खेला, this is what we expected from experienced player, and he didn't give up even when he was on the bench. The way he fought and trained and practiced, it was excellent to see, and he's rewarded for that. Yeah, फिर देखेंगे वाइट बॉल का, अभी उन्हें कुछ जवाब नहीं दिया in terms of, like, रहेगा नहीं रहेगा, he said we'll see on performances and everything. मगर फिर से पूछा उन्हें जर्नलिस्ट की पछतावा है नहीं है, तो नहीं, मुझे कोई पछतावा नहीं है, मतलब
क्या बोलेंगे या क्या बोल सकता है, बिकॉज उसका दोस्त जितना बोलते लोग, रिजवान एंड बाबर का दोस्ती कायम रहे, बट लाइक व्हाट एल्स कुड ही से फ्रॉम कीपिंग इट थिंग्स पॉजिटिव, if he says पछतावा है एंड स्टफ लाइक दैट, देन it will be replicated कि भाई आपको बोर्ड के डिसीजन से प्रॉब्लम है। तो एज अ कैप्टन आल्सो सरफराज हैज टू बाबर हैज टू प्ले इट वेरी स्मार्टली।
सचिन भाई कल लिखे थे स्काई विल स्कोर सेंचुरी, क्रेजी मैन, द ग्रेट। आई रिमेंबर समवन सेड स्काई विल स्कोर अ सेंचुरी। सेकंड टी20 में भी कोई बोला था, बट नहीं था। तो ग्रेट स्टफ, गुड प्रेडिक्शन। बट और एक चीज पूछे कि शायद अफरीदी said that it's not necessarily for the captain and the selectors to be on the same boat in terms of players and everything. You can have discussions, arguments, whatever. बाबर पठा के बोला कि भाई वैसा नहीं है, लाइक आई थिंक जरूरी है कैप्टन और सेलेक्टर को लाइक बी ऑन बोर्ड टुगेदर, एंड हम ये जो टीम पिक करे, हम लोग सजेशंस दिए और वो लोग भी माने, तो इट्स लाइक ऐसा नहीं है कि हम नहीं है सेम बोट पे, हम सेम बोट में ही है। तो थोड़ा कॉन्ट्रडिक्ट किया अफरीदी को, बट आई थिंक द वे ओवरऑल दैट ही हैंडल द प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस, लाइक स्पेशली जो पहला सवाल था कि आप कप्तान छोड़ दो, जो भी इनडायरेक्टली जो हुआ, आई थिंक ही हैंडल द प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस pretty good, but it was pretty entertaining, man, like compared to all the other press conferences Pakistan. Even, and I remember also 2018 Asia Cup press conference, I was there, सरफराज को भाई धो दिए थे वो टाइम पे, and it was just 1 year since he won that champions trophy, मगर उसको छोड़े नहीं because they got knocked out to Bangladesh. अबू धाबी में था वो प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस, और उसको रख के दिए पाकिस्तानी जर्नलिस्ट। तो आई थिंक that's what it is, like if you're not performing, or if there are certain results are not coming, the journalists in a respectful way, they have the right to question you, and you have the right to answer. If you don't want to answer, okay, but the fact that he went through the press conference, I think it shows ki bhai, like,
Yes, like definitely he has grit, and he has like he's brave enough to do that. वाकई it's not an easy job, and I think इसलिए लोग और हैबत खाते हैं to be the captain of Pakistan. अब समझ में आ रहा आपको कि भाई क्या लेवल पे टेंशन रहता, बट आई थिंक वो अफरीदी की जो बात है, मे बी अफरीदी might have said कि भाई it's not necessary कि the captain has to do जी हुजूरी types to my decision and stuff. Obviously they will come to a mutual consensus at the end of the day, दोनों मिलजुल के टीम बनाते हैं, but like it's not necessary to say हाँ नहीं. That's what Babar was trying to like translate what Afridi was saying. But yeah, coming to the
But I
fact,
thought, the Sarfaraz thing, if Afridi wasn't there, I don't think he would have got selected. I'll be very honest with you. Because 4 साल हो गए. अगर होना था, उन्हें 2 साल पहले भी उसको select कर सकते थे, उसको try कर सकते थे. आप शोएब मलिक और हफीज को खिलाए कितने साल, right? तो उसको खिलाना मतलब सरफराज तो अभी भी 33, 34 का है, तो he still has years in him. उन लोग तो 40 तक खेले. तो I think he could have played all format or at least 2 formats या 1 format तो खेल सकता था सरफराज.
हाँ वो तो खेल सकता था, and I think वही है कि it was just a blessing कि Rizwan was also not coming in form, so for Sarfaraz, and the things worked out for him because obviously he was patient enough to wait and he got his chance, and भाई हर innings में 50 मारा उन्हें, तो that was something splendid, and फिर century जो मारा उन्हें, so अभी तो आप cement कर लिया अपनी wicket, unless if anything happens now, it'll be very evident. So I don't think they'll touch Sarfaraz, and at least red ball they won't mess with him. But बाबर
मगर
आजम
उसका जो स्कोप रहेगा टू मेक मिस्टेक्स बहुत कम रहेगा, वो मतलब जो लीव
वो तो he'll be under the radar, वो तो radar के नीचे, माइक्रोस्कोप के नीचे रहेगा. जैसे कोरोना का वैक्सीन निकाल रहे थे, वैसा इसका भी कोई वैक्सीन निकालने की कोशिश करेंगे. बट मेरे हिसाब से सरफराज है more than experienced and he knows how to play these kind of situations, and yeah, I think उन्हें टुक टुक भी कर लेते गया तो उन्हें उसको खिलाना तो पड़ता है, because a lot of players were also in praise for him. Haris Rauf also, I think was Shadab who also wrote on Twitter or Instagram कि भाई Saifi bhai is an inspiration for us. He taught us he taught us leadership. This is what he said. He taught us leadership and stuff. So I was like, अरे बाबर के रहते हुए ऐसा बोल रहा है तो. But yeah, so it was
बात
something.
तो सही है, इसके ही अंडर इन लोग जीते थे नहीं चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी, और फिर T20 की नंबर 1 टीम थी, सरफराज के ही अंडर हुआ था वो सब.
Yeah, and like you always say, man, he's a smart cricketer. He knows how to read situations. He knows how to change and rotate bowlers and fields. And उन्हें समझ जाता opposition क्या सोच रही. काफी घसेवा प्लेयर है, बहुत तारीफ के काबिल है obviously. But yeah, बाबर आजम को फिर मैं बोलूंगा कि भाई अब व्हाइट बॉल में अगेन ही विल बी अंडर द माइक्रोस्कोप फ्रॉम द पाकिस्तानी पर्सपेक्टिव. अब वो जर्नलिस्ट जो रहेगा, अगर फर्स्ट ओडीआई हार गए, ही विल बी लाइक भाई चलो रेड बॉल का छोड़ो, अब व्हाइट बॉल का बोल के आ जाएंगे उन्हें सीधा. अब बोल भाई व्हाइट बॉल का, तू तो रेड बॉल बोला था, अब वाइड बॉल है, अब बोल भाई.
आई थिंक उसको ये भी पूछे कि आप बल्ले के साथ जवाब देंगे क्या, लेकिन बहुत क्रिटिसिज्म हो रही है आपकी ये वो. इस लाइक भाई मेरा काम है बस पाकिस्तान को जिताओ और फोकस करो उस पे. आप लोग जो भी लाइक बोल रहे हैं, आई डोंट लुक एट ऑल द अदर स्टफ, आई जस्ट ट्राई टू फोकस ऑन माय टीम एंड ऑफ कोर्स माय इंडिविजुअल परफॉर्मेंस, बट मेन थिंग इज पाकिस्तान को जिताना है. तो आई थिंक ठीक है, उन्हें उसको देखो क्रिटिसिज्म तो आएगा, उन्हें रिजल्ट्स अगर नहीं आएंगे, बट वाइट बॉल he has a final and semi final, even though like if you look at it very critically, even
He
there
didn't do anything in it.
आप
It came
सवाल
in his
उठा
lap.
सकते हैं,
It
आप
came in
सवाल
his lap.
उठा सकते हैं कैप्टेंसी में अगर बहुत स्पेसिफिकली देखे तो. लेकिन ये भी है कि भाई आप there's certain teams who you expected to reach in Australia. आप ऑस्ट्रेलिया में लोग they counted you out especially after losing to Zimbabwe. तो they did reach the final, तो थोड़ा सा hesitant है, मगर he's a World Cup away from getting sacked. I think he will be in the captain for the India World Cup for sure. मगर वहाँ पे perform नहीं करा तो that might be the end of his captaincy.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see. I don't think he'll probably be for sure captain. अगर ये न्यूजीलैंड का हारे back to back 2-3 हारे, फिर maybe I think something could happen. You can't say, this captaincy is a very tricky game and it's a very, cutthroat competition and very like you're always on the radar, right? जैसा अपन बोलते हैं. तो मेरे हिसाब से अगर बाबर वहाँ पे कुछ रिजल्ट्स नहीं लेके आया तो फिर मुश्किल लगा, बिकॉज आजकल उन लोगों की मीडिया भी and people around in most of their podcasts also we see that he's getting slaughtered left, right and center. And
but you have to make that decision very quickly.
Yeah, that is true.
I think
and I think the only replacement would actually be Sarfaraz right now, who's ready to take that lead.
I think Rizwan can do it also. Rizwan can do it. Shadab can do it if he's fit. They have options. I think they have plenty of options. But the thing is, do you have enough time for that captain to build his team have that camaraderie together? You have to fit in Babar as well. You know what? Actually, what might have been an issue, they reached the final of the T20. If they got knocked out in the group stages, losing to Zimbabwe, uski kaptani jati thi, and you could have built from straight away. Then this series would be a new captain, and you have the whole 6, 7, 8 months until the World Cup. Abhi agar New Zealand ke baad kya end of January ho jata, you're getting closer to the World Cup, closer and closer. So mere liye mushkil रहेगा usko sack karne, even though that's probably the right call.
Yeah, वो तो है right call probably, but मैं फिर वही भी न्यूजीलैंड के सीरीज दे दूंगा उसको अभी के लिए, because like you said, he has certain things under his belt. Let's see what he does in New Zealand, and he's in Karachi for all the matches. He's been in Karachi since like a month now.
Yeah.
I think he knows his conditions. अब ये नहीं बोल सकते भाई विकेट नहीं मालूम, पिच नहीं मालूम, ये नहीं मालूम, फलाना नहीं मालूम, ढिमका नहीं मालूम, सब मालूम भाई. I think ये व्हाइट वॉश रहना अगर नहीं रहा या क्लोज भी नहीं जाना, बिकॉज पाकिस्तान के प्लेयर 1 महीने से वहाँ कैंप सेटअप करके बैठे हुए यार. ओवर है अब तो अगर नहीं जीते तो.
Matt Henry is out, ruled out with abdominal strain, so he's gone back to New Zealand and he will not be playing the one-day series. So that's a bit of a blow. But Ferguson is back. Fergie is back in the team, and there's a player, Fez. Watch out for him. He'll probably play now. Yeah, Henry Chipley, exactly. He's like Jameson's height, and he's quick. His idol is Shane Bond. He grew up watching him and playing like him in the backyard. So watch out for him. We don't know उन्हें कैसा perform करेगा because conditions it won't be like green grass and swinging and all that. Maybe he won't be as dangerous, but always a fast bowler with extra pace will be more effective than a medium pace bowler in Pakistan, right? In Pakistani conditions. So I will be looking forward to watching him. I hope he's accurate as well. Kabhi extra pace, height, and all that excited about and you don't get that accuracy. But I'm looking forward to watching him play along with Ferguson. I think that these two with pace they can trouble Pakistan. From Pakistan's point of view. Kamran Ghulam is all-rounder. I don't know if he's going to play or not, but I'm looking forward if he plays because I think Pakistan are lacking like an all-rounder. I don't know if he's medium pace. If he's medium pace, that would be great.
Kamran Ghulam, I think. I think he's a slow left arm. He's slow left arm orthodox.
Oh, wait, Nawaz type.
Yes. But I think they're mostly going for his batting rather than his bowling.
So, अगर उसको chance मिला, it'll be interesting to see. In terms of bowlers, also, you have Dhani, Hasnain, who will be with Naseem Shah. We don't know right now. There is Mohammad Wasim is also there. I think there's another Usama Mir or Usama Mir is also there.
Usama Mir is leg spinner. Even Tayyab Tahir also. These two leg breakers. Who are making a lot of noise. So yeah, it'll be a good chance. But मेरे को वही है कि where is Shadab? Why is Shadab not playing? Injured. I think was playing BPL as well.
He picked up there only Hobart, I think. That's what I think. That's what I last read. Like he got injured in one of the BPL games, and I think he didn't play the last Hobart game, and he left back. That's what I assumed. Because he also said in his Instagram story, "Ki bhai, congratulations to everybody and stuff, and I'm working on my fitness. I'll be back soon." बोल तो I think इंजरी का ही है.
क्या है कि कहीं को खेलना फिर भाई वर्ल्ड कप के एकदम बाद से.
तो वही है, अब इंजरीज तो होते रहते. सो सम एक्साइटिंग प्लेयर्स टू लुक आउट फॉर. अगेन भाई पिच कैसा रहेगा वनडे में भी बोर हो सकता.
इसको देखना मालूम मुस्तफा, मोस्टली ग्लेन फिलिप्स को देखना. अगर ग्लेन फिलिप्स लग दिया ना वहां पे कराची में फ्लैट विकेट पे, he's going to be ready to be a sunriser. He's already a sunriser, but he's going to be ready for that Indian wicket then. अगर कराची में भाई, लेकिन सब लोग तापाल चाय पीने को रेडी हो जाओ फिर. लेकिन but at least it's not going to be a test match, so we have one day from 1:30 my time, I think, so it'll be like 3 o'clock Indian time. तो yeah, ready हो जाओ अपने तापाल के चाय के साथ and Sensodyne के add-on के साथ and stuff like that. But yeah, Mustafa, you want to go to fantasy picks and tips and tricks and we can continue it?
Let's go.
All right. तो न्यूजीलैंड पाकिस्तान ODIs इन कराची. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल जो भी हमारे साथ जुड़े हुए, थैंक यू ज्वाइनिंग अस. आप लोग भी अपना प्रेडिक्शन दो कि कल पाकिस्तान और न्यूजीलैंड में क्या होने वाला है. आपके हिसाब से प्लेयर्स कौन से देखना चाहिए, कौन जबरदस्त परफॉर्म करने वाला है एंड स्टफ. तो मुस्तफा, आई कम टू यू फर्स्ट बिकॉज़ वी ऑलवेज आस्क मी और द अदर पीपल फर्स्ट. Who do you think? Who are you picking from New Zealand first and then Pakistan?
Tom Latham and Babar Azam.
Tom Latham.
Play safe first, and then we'll see. Play it safe first.
Yeah, good shout, man. Tom Latham and thing. I'll go with Devin Conway for me. If he's gonna play, because there's Finn Allen also now in this thing. So there's gonna be Devin Conway, Tom Latham, Finn Allen.
That's the name I was looking for. Finn Allen is in the one-day squad.
He's there in the one-day squad. He's top. He's top on the list.
Finn Allen is there. Okay, perfect. So yeah, I'll be excited to see Finn Allen as well. अगर उन्हें भी शुरू कर दिया, he can go at a quick rate and really take the game away from the opposition.
Yeah, phenomenal start दिए थे उन्हें T20 में. First match for New Zealand में they gave an amazing start. Devin Conway and Finn Allen, and yeah, they get the ways going, because the way Devin Conway is going, it looks like he's read the wicket very nicely. He played a few good innings here. अच्छा खासा उन्हें gaps ढूंढता and he has all the shots in the book with him. So that's why I'm going to go with Devin Conway. With Pakistan, I only go with one guy, and that's Naseem Shah. I love that bowler a lot. Naseem Shah, if he plays hopefully and he's fit, then yeah, Naseem Shah.
You know what? I just realized before the T20 World Cup, New Zealand played Pakistan. After the T20 World Cup, they played India in New Zealand, and now again then Pakistan, and then they're going to India. They're playing India Pakistan quite a bit now.
I think they're going to be the reason why India Pakistan are finally going to play a series or something. अरे बस हो गया New Zealand बोल के चलो भाई अपन like
And also these conditions, these kind of tours really help because the World Cup again it's this year, so you know they're going to get some good homework done. They'll analyze like especially in India, that's where the World Cup will be. So you're playing in Pakistan, you acclimatize basically to the conditions similar to India, and then you go to India, and then the pitches and stuff maybe it's a slightly different, but you understand the game plan, and once you start performing there, it'll give them a good idea and going to the World Cup. And I'll tell you again, like the last World Cup, none of us will have them in the top four, but don't be surprised if they're in the top four in the over as well.
Also, like you said, they've been playing consistently with subcontinent teams and conditions, but also the team hasn't been like changed, you know, drastically. इतना change नहीं रहा team में. वही core
those three players was Guptill, Bolt, and one more player who have taken the T20 contracts. Huh?
Adam Milne.
No, like I don't know if it is Milne. Basically, they don't have the central contract anymore, so they've given preference to T20 leagues now. But even if they decide to play World Cup, if they decide to pick them for the World Cup, they can slide in, you know, because they're just a couple of players.
They're
just a couple of players. But will they? I don't know, because again, wo rhythm ki baat aati hai and everything. Will Trent Bolt have one last swan song? I'm not sure about that. Because then you have younger bowlers. Let's see how Shipley bowls. You have Jamieson coming back. You'll have Ferguson there. You have Sadi still there. So do you still want to go with Sadi and Bolt in Indian conditions?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you go with extra pay. Who?
Matt Henry is also there. Matt
Henry भी है, yeah, Matt Henry भी है. तो options है उन लोग के पास, and they're building a good team. New Zealand always have options, man, and any conditions they always somehow make it to that top four. मेरे को समझ में नहीं आता, but they make it into the top four almost always in ICC tournaments. So always
the thing is like they're threatening in every department, and like I think their temperament towards
they go under the radar, bro. Look, watch. I'm telling you, in September we'll preview the World Cup. None of us will have them in the top four. None of us.
I will have them.
And none of us had them in the T20 also.
Just for the sake of argument, I'll say New Zealand.
अब तो like ठीक है, but like you know in the T20 World Cup हम लोग कोई भी नहीं लिए थे, फटाफट ऑस्ट्रेलिया को मार दिए थे.
क्यों भी होता ना मुस्तफा, I think it's not just because under of radar, they probably don't make a lot of noise in bilaterals also. Maybe is that would that be a reason? Like bilaterals,
no, they do decent. अब देखो टेस्ट सीरीज में
they draw like they don't have a consistent win streak or something like that where people are talking about them going into a tournament. It's what I feel. Maybe I could be wrong.
That could be the case in certain times, but also because the other teams come with big names, big profiles. That's also another reason, right? I'm like, you know, no one really knew like will Glenn Phillips play like that unless people are watching domestic cricket, they're watching New Zealand cricket and they're watching T20 leagues, then you'll know. But otherwise like the general fan will see कि भाई मैक्सवेल का नाम देखते हैं, so विराट कोहली का नाम देखेंगे, बाबर का नाम देखेंगे, they're going to look at that. They have players who play T20 leagues across and who fit the system well, but you see them more in domestic. So yeah,
probably that's why also like this big names name. But now I think with likes of if Finalen makes some noise in the RCB camp, if Devin Conway makes nice in the CSK camp, so maybe these guys, if they perform in IPL as well, Glenn Phillips and these guys, so yeah, they might have a good shot this year.
2011, they were in the semis. They lost to Sri Lanka. They beat South Africa in the quarterfinals. No one expected that. South Africa were at the peak. They beat India in that World Cup as well. 2015, they reached the final, right? 2016, they beat India, and I think they reached the semi-final. India, and they lost to what's it called? I think they lost to England in the semi-final in 2016, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
17 Champions Trophy chhod do. They didn't have that good of a time. Then what was the next year? 2019, they beat India. They played the final, right? Then 2021, they reached the final again of the T20 World Cup and they played Australia. So look at that record, man.
Yeah. Sunrisers कहते Sunbeast क्या हो रहा है भाई? Sun Fairy, सोनपरी.
अरे डॉक्टर फूडी इन द हाउस, शुक्रिया बहुत बहुत जुड़ने के लिए. रियली अप्रिशिएट इट. थैंक यू सो मच. आपके जो भी कमेंट है, सवाल है, खाने के डिश है, रिकमेंडेशन है, जो भी हमको बताते रहिए और हम देखते रहेंगे.
Hopefully आगे खाएंगे. But yeah, so New Zealand का वही है. I think if you look at their history, brilliant in ICC tournaments, brilliantly, you know, poised team, and like अभी भी जिस तरीके का टीम है formulated, तब आके दिख रहा है यार कुछ तो भी ना करने वाले इंडिया में, एंड आप जो अच्छा पकड़े उन लोगों को इंडिया पाकिस्तान में, दे बीन प्लेइंग कंसिस्टेंटली, आई थिंक अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल डिडंट नोटिस दैट।
आपका आपका ओपिनियन भी सही है, दोनों उन लोग हार सकते दोनों सीरीज, मगर वर्ल्ड कप में आके परफॉर्मेंस दे देंगे, वैसा भी हो सकता है, राइट? ऐसा है कि दोनों सीरीज में पिट जाते हैं उन लोग, फिर वहां जाके
वही ना,
फिर
टीम केमिस्ट्री अगर बनी रहे एंड टीम में ज्यादा चेंजेस नहीं है, आई थिंक दे विल बी वेरी स्ट्रांग, बिकॉज अदर टीम्स में आप देखो वो डर है, इंडिया में तो बहुत ही डर रहता भाई, अगर सिलेक्शन कमेटी जो अभी जुड़ी है हमारे साथ, चेतन शर्मा, दीपदास गुप्ता, सुब्रत रॉय एंड ऑल ऑफ दी गाइस, अगर उन्होंने कुछ उंगली कर दी है बीच में, पाकिस्तान में तो मालूम आए दिन कोई तो भी आते कोई तो भी गायब हो जाते, मालूम नहीं होता। England is probably one team who will be solid. New Zealand will probably be one team solid. Australia, again, we have to see how much cricket they're going to play this year, because they've been playing so many and there are a lot of injuries. तो वैसा भी अगर अपन देख रहे तो this team New Zealand is like fit for now, but yeah.
यस, बिग बैश में आज फर्स्ट न्यूज सिडनी डार्बी था आज, सिक्सर्स
Yeah,
वर्सेस थंडर, एंड इट वाज
yeah,
सिक्सर्स who won, right?
yeah. Sixers won, and yeah, उधर Sam
सिडनी
White.
सिक्सर्स उर्दू में कैसा बोलते हैं?
हाँ, सिडनी सिक्सर, सिडनी 6
सिडनी छक्के।
सिडनी 6
हाँ,
बट नहीं, सिडनी थंडर जीत गई, सिडनी सिक्सर्स जीत गए, थंडर से भूल जा रहा हूँ मैं कौन जीते, आई थिंक सिक्सर्स जीती, नहीं या सिक्सर्स जीती, एंड या आई थिंक सैम व्हाइटमैन थंडर के लिए 42 मारा था ऑफ 34 बॉल्स। बेन कटिंग, आपका बॉय मुस्तफा बेन कटिंग 26 रन मारा था, एंड या पिक अप द बॉलर शॉन एबट 4 overs 9 runs and 3 wickets, that spell man, brilliant. 9 runs.
and but the thing is now the South Africa T20 is starting, the Dubai T20 is starting, so
But also there's one player that I would actually want to talk about, Jordan Silk, जो ये सिडनी का है, सिक्सर्स का भाई, बहुत अच्छे परफॉर्मेंसेस देते जा रहा है, he's a phenomenal fielder. Him and Moises Enriquez together I think have a 50 each in this match. But this player भाई जितना भी BBL में मैं देख रहा हूँ ना, he's had very consistent performance. Maybe he could get a call out for the team in the T20 coming T20 times.
I just feel that now with all the other T20 leagues starting, the Big Bash थोड़ा कमजोर होने वाला है, for that maybe the Australian players
हो
come
गया
back,
ऑलरेडी, आप बोल सकते एक तरीके में हो गया, because like
राशिद चले गए, मगर अब मैं सुना कि वार्नर इन लोग आएंगे वापस, so maybe that brings some impetus, some strength back into the Big Bash.
but there's one thing that has come out of this Big Bash, that they're going to probably shorten the time span of the Big Bash, because बहुत ज्यादा games है, तो maybe they'll cut it down to like 40 or something like that.
Bro, one thing I noticed, the Dubai T20, you have Dubai Capitals, you have Abu Dhabi Knight Riders. Those are two IPL, right? And that's about it. In South Africa, they're all IPL.
All
Sunrisers, you have Capitals, you have Royals,
Mumbai.
you have Super Giants, and you have Mumbai and Chennai Super Kings.
पूरा पैसा इंडिया में, पूरा पैसा इंडिया में।
तो सनराइजर्स ईस्टर्न केप, उन लोगों का कप्तान है एडन मार्क्रम, who also plays for Sunrisers Hyderabad. He might captain the Sunrisers Hyderabad also. Pretoria Capitals, it's Wayne Parnell is your captain, and from Rajasthan Royals, your captain is David. Sorry, not Rajasthan Royals, Pearl Royals. David Miller is your captain. Durban Super Giants. Can you guess who the captain is?
Who with Giants?
Durban Super Giants.
No, I don't. Rajasthan for Mumbai, right?
Durban Super Giants मतलब किसका फ्रैंचाइज है?
लखनऊ।
हाँ, उन लोगों में कौन खेलता है वहाँ पे? साउथ अफ्रीका
के, उन्हें मेरे को याद नहीं आ रहा,
क्विंटन डिकॉक।
अच्छा, डिकॉक, हाँ, राइट।
डिकॉक is the captain of the Super Giants, Durban Super Giants. Mumbai, Cape Town, who is your captain?
अरे फोटो में वो राइट हैंड साइड पे है, नहीं अब याद आया।
मुंबई इंडियंस कैप्टन इज राशिद खान। मुंबई इंडियंस क्या बोल रहा हूँ यार, मुंबई केप टाउन, मुंबई इंडियंस केप टाउन, एमआई केप टाउन लिखा हुआ है, तो राशिद
खान और बोले टीम के नाम लोग कंफ्यूज है, आईपीएल है, साउथ अफ्रीका
भाई कौन है मालूम? मुंबई में लिविंगस्टोन भी, मुंबई में मतलब क्या है ये टीम, केप टाउन में लिविंगस्टोन है, जोफ्रा आर्चर है, डेवाल्ड ब्रेविस भी है, लिविंगस्टोन बोला मैं
बोले आपने कौन शो के
क्या टीम है यार ये?
Archer is back bowling, and yeah, कल दिखा मैंने।
This was in Dubai, man. This is South Africa. This T20. These players are there. It's going to be a split.
भाई हम लोगों को फंड करो, कोई साउथ अफ्रीका जाएंगे, चलिए।
अच्छी टीम है मुंबई की। And then Johannesburg Super Kings. Can you guess the captain?
Is he the South African or what?
I'm not giving you any hints. This is very easy.
धोनी तो नहीं हो सकता।
नहीं, धोनी हो सकता, क्यों नहीं हो सकता? सुपर
सकता
किंग फॉर
चेन्नई
लाइफ।
सुपर किंग फॉर लाइफ है, बट चेन्नई ओरिएंटेड है, नॉट दैट। साउथ अफ्रीका को नहीं आता बॉय।
फाफ टू प्लसी।
फाफ फाफ तो बीबीएल छोड़ के आ गया ना यहाँ पे।
Yeah, फाफ आ गया वहाँ पे। तो yeah, so the surprising thing for me, they're all Indian franchises. Not, I thought a couple, because there's going to be a couple in Dubai, couple in South Africa, but this is full Indian franchises, and you'll have to support the Eastern Cape because and
But why? Like that's my only point. कि हर जगह कई को डाल रही होंगी, like हर जगह है अपन ला माशाल्लाह, like even in Dubai, in Mumbai, Indians या तो जो भी है वो Mumbai Capitals, whatever it is.
Mumbai Emirates.
Yeah, I don't know, Mumbai Emirates नाम आप भूल जा रहे हो यार, मैं like Mumbai Emirates, Mumbai Cape Town, Mumbai Indians, Mumbai, and then I think Caribbean में भी कोलकाता नाइट राइडर्स का एक franchise है
हाँ,
EPL में।
yeah,
I think the only place that they haven't gone is LPL and BPL, ढाका Premier League जो भी है वो
yeah.
वहाँ पे नहीं गए। That's it। वहाँ हर जगह है यार अपन ना।
Do you think this is the way to go, or it's to separate the teams and make it all T20s, like how they? I mean, make it all leagues like how they do in the football. That's the way to go.
You no, I didn't get you what?
So now you have 2-3 leagues going simultaneously. You have players पूरे बटे हुए हैं. Like you have
Right.
Rashid Khan in thing. You will have Moeen Ali in Dubai and playing for the Sharjah Warriors. You have Joe Root in the Dubai Capitals, but in Pretoria Capitals you have like Wayne Parnell, for example, right? And Andre Knoke. So they're going to be split. Imagine like Joe Root, all these guys actually played like together, like in one team, but it's split now. Dubai.
All
But you
domestic
have
league under one thing, you're saying.
I think there's two issues. One is schedule issue. You can't have the Dubai and South Africa league at different times because there's other leagues. There's PSL after this, then there's IPL, and then Caribbean, and the circle starts. And for new leagues to start, they'll have to take any window that they get. That's one more thing. Second thing, I just feel that maybe you don't have maybe enough players to make like 20 domestic teams, or like 6 in India, 6 in South Africa. So you don't have enough players to make teams like that, like you do, like Manchester United.
अभी देख लो आगे प्लेयर आए इसमें से, जितने आप अभी बयान करें, फाफ एंड राशिद and all of these, इन ऑलरेडी 3 टीमों को खेल रहे, 4 टीम को, so they're only representing which team will get them ultimately। वहां लड़ाइयां हो जाते, अरे यार मैं राशिद खान मेरा है नहीं, मेरा है नहीं, मेरा है नहीं, मेरा है बोले तो फिर like it's going to be hard। and like you said अभी है प्लेयर्स काफी है, like reputed players कम है, recognized players कम है। डोमेस्टिक लीग्स के बच्चों को अगर आप उठाए इंडिया में से, पाकिस्तान में से, श्रीलंका में, पूरे मिलते हैं आपको, लेकिन obviously how many people would want to see that, वो एक अलग रहता। and then getting available time to get all of these guys under one roof and play that league throughout, and then flights and then schedules, and like you said, there's so many things that go into the planning and plotting।
The positive I think over here is that ये जो like ये जो franchises बना रहे हैं with like the same name, like same owners and everything, is that you'll have players interlinked, and then they can like settle in. Like for example, Markram plays for both Sunriser franchises. He plays for Hyderabad. He'll play for Eastern Cape as well. And then you have players like this distributed, so it makes that link as well. Probably because they'll be familiar with the owners, they'll be familiar with the fan base, and it might grow. Like for example, me and you will probably support the Eastern Cape because they're Sunrisers, right? So we'll back Markram every single day. And people who are supporting, for example, Mumbai, don't have Rashid Khan in their team, but they have Rashid Khan in South Africa playing for their franchise. So they can back him over there. And then you have Adewale Brevis who plays for 2 teams, so you back him. So confusing bhi ho jata hai, like Rajasthan.
And it's too much cricket also, Mustafa. वही 2020 2020 2020 2020 पूरा वही चल जा रहा है। And like it's good for an exposure kind of a basis, but for the way I'm looking at it, प्लेयर्स को रेस्ट कब मिलता है? वैसे राजस्थान हर जगह खेलते गए, फिर क्रूशियल टूर्नामेंट से पहले अगर इंजर हो गए फिर क्या होता? या तो आप सब ये डोमेस्टिक को खारिज करके, जैसा आप बोले, एक सेटअप बनाओ 15 टीमों का एटलीस्ट, एंड एक ही लीग लगाओ throughout the year, how you can plan it best, so ultimately everybody can benefit it from it। but as a viewer it gets confusing यार। come on, अब तुम्हारे दुबई भी देखना है, फिर मुंबई भी देखना है, फिर कैरिबियन भी देखना है, फिर ढाका भी देखना है, फिर एलपीएल भी देखना है, फिर इंडिया का
अभी देखो 3 लीग चलने वाले, बिग बैश, ये दुबई और साउथ अफ्रीका।
इस साल तो ऑकलैंड का भी हुआ, न्यूजीलैंड का भी T20 कैंटरबरी से आया उन्हें शिपली, if I'm not wrong, तो उन्हें भी तो इतने लीग्स कई को भाई, कंट्री की क्रिकेट देख रहे नहीं लोग, ये लीग्स में घुस जा रहे बेचारे।
यही प्रॉब्लम है। एंड फिर अब इंडिया का मैच आ गया न्यूजीलैंड के साथ सीरीज, ये वो, तो फिर अटेंशन उस पे ही चला जाएगा। जब भी इंडिया खेलते तो अटेंशन वहीं चला जाएगा।
आईपीएल के टाइम इतना कन्वीनियंटली देयर इज नो डोमेस्टिक लाइक इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेट गोइंग ऑन। व्हाई? बिकॉज़ ऑब्वियसली ऑल द बिग गन्स प्ले इन द आईपीएल। अभी साउथ अफ्रीका के टाइम पे आप देखो, ऑस्ट्रेलिया इंडिया है, नो वन गोना गिव अ डैम अबाउट ऑस्ट्रेलिया साउथ अफ्रीकन डोमेस्टिक थिंग। वेरी ऑनेस्टली आई एम जस्ट सेइंग वेरी अपफ्रंट। एंड देन आप क्या है फिर आपके साथ दुबई की T20 है, ऑब्वियसली अगेन द सेम टाइम लाइन ऑफ ऑस्ट्रेलिया इंडिया, एंड आई थिंक इट्स एक और कौन सा की सीरीज है, आई थिंक बांग्लादेश इंग्लैंड भी रहने वाली है फिर मार्च में. तो only IPL is the time where all the international players are like on a break and there's no other cricket going apart from IPL.
Yeah, उसमें भी रेयर सीरीज कुछ ना कुछ रहता, बट इट्स वेरी रेयर, लाइक
No one
टुवर्ड्स
wants
द
to
एंड.
Indian players इधर ही थे पूरे.
Yeah, towards the end England players चले आते कभी कभी, but वो भी शायद नहीं होंगे अब. The IPL will have full probably preference in that sense.
Because
Yeah,
everybody
I don't know how it's going to go. Of course.
everybody would want to play in India Premier League because they want to know the conditions and soak up it and take back all the learnings for the 50-over World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely cover it and we'll watch the game. There's going to be a lot of cricket on, but like you said, it's going to be confusing even for us. We're going to mess up. Like, Mumbai के दो टीम खेल रहे. Trust me, you're going to say Emirates.
नामों में कंफ्यूज है मुंबई इंडियन
It's going to
कैप्टन
make confusing for रहेगा. Yeah, 100% confusing.
यही है भाई. एट एंड आप क्रिकेट कहीं भी देखो, आप सीखते हैं, मजा आता, कोई ना कोई नया नाम आता. जब उन्हें राइजिंग थ्रू द रैंक्स होता, अपने को याद रहता, बट बहुत कम लोग समझते अरे ने कहां से आ गया एकदम. ये भी चीज रहती है उसमें. सो
नहीं, सही बात है. फॉर एग्जांपल, Rutherford, Puran, I saw them in the GT20 in Canada. I was there covering it, and at that time I didn't know who these guys were. मगर लोग वेस्ट इंडीज बी बोल की टीम थे, and they were hitting like some international level bowlers. और वो टूर्नामेंट में वार्नर भी आए, स्मिथ भी आए, and there's a lot of players in that tournament. So I enjoyed it to a certain extent. मगर वही है कि तीन एक टाइम पे तो फिर कंफ्यूजिंग हो जाता.
डेफिनेटली आई थिंक वही है कि भाई 3-4 होने का पेंसिल सॉरी 3-4 होने के टाइम से बहुत ज्यादा कंफ्यूजन हो जाता. एंड आई थिंक या इट जस्ट वही है कि भाई अपन तो एज व्यूअर्स वी लुक एट इट एंड इट जस्ट बी फन टू वॉच एंड लर्न, एंड दैट्स ऑल वी कैन डू. एंड एटलीस्ट मैच यहाँ पे है तो अपन जाके देख भी सकते, तो थोड़ा वो रहता कि भाई सेलिब्रिटी विजन खेलना पड़ता.
We'll do a short preview also of tomorrow, because it'll be the first game of the SA T20 is on Tuesday as well. There'll be India versus Sri Lanka going on at the same time of that game. We'll do
अच्छा, बीच में एक और चीज है मुसा, सॉरी, ये सब डोमेस्टिक लीग एक साथ है, फिर अपने विमेंस खालायां भी खेलने वाले, खालाओं के भी टूर्नामेंट से, खालायां भी अभी अंडर 19 है, फिर अभी आईपीएल का रजिस्ट्रेशन आई थिंक फरवरी तक है.
ऑप्शन है राइट,
फरवरी में. उसके बाद आपका आईपीएल वर्ल्ड कप है आपका. कितने चीज है यार.
We need correspondence, man, in different covering different tournaments.
आखा दो ही छे पिंडा.
We need correspondence covering different tournaments. That's what we'll need. But
we'll get there soon.
under 19, that's starting on the 14th. We'll discuss that also. We're getting close to that. But for now, I think tomorrow we'll review the New Zealand Pakistan game. We'll preview the India Sri Lanka game, and we'll preview the SA T20, the first match, which will take place on Tuesday. So there'll be a lot.
It's gonna be fun. Hopefully now everybody who watched the Pakistan and New Zealand Test series, आपला one day देखो, कि आप लोग
they are women, not khalas.
Not खलास women का भी है खलास. खैर, आपसे तो मैं बाद में बात कर दूं, बट लाइक what was I saying? I was saying कि जो भी बेचारे पाकिस्तान न्यूजीलैंड का टेस्ट सीरीज देखे एंड परेशान हुए एंड इतना लॉन्ग आवर्स, अभी आई थिंक अपना एक we deserve a good ODI series, and hopefully we get to see that. I know फिर वही टापाल्टी है ये सब देख के परेशान होने वाले, but just remember it's going to be 50 overs and not a test match finally.
अब वो 50 ओवर में भी like कभी कभी बोर हो जा रहे लोग, पेशेंस चला आ रहा जो T20 के वजह से, T10 के वजह से 50 ओवर भी बोल रहे भाई 8 घंटे कौन देखते हैं. It's like one day of a test match, right? तो 8 घंटे कौन देखते हैं, this and that. But hopefully we get to see like some good action. Again, high scoring. Would you want high scoring, low scoring? I don't know what it's going to be, but
I just want to watch some good innings. यार, अगर Babar gets going, I don't mind looking at him. Kane Williamson है, Finn Allen, like we said, Evan Conway, and these guys. I want to see a good quality innings, good cricket.
Some bowling as well, some wickets flying.
Some Naseem Shah deliveries, and hopefully some
Shipley, these guys, like थोड़ा सा stumps cartwheeling. That's what I would definitely like to see.
Bring in Umran Malik.
Umran Malik is in the one-day squad, right? भाई आप जल्दी सैंडविच गरम करो, रोहित शर्मा आ रहे हैं कल प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस के लिए, तैयार रखो आप. जो मिनट आप, मैं आज बाबर का करा प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस, कल आप बोलेंगे मेरे को मिनट टू मिनट रोहित शर्मा का प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस. अगर नहीं आया उन्हें,
रोहित शर्मा का प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस लंबा नहीं रहता.
इफ्तिकार अहमद लेना चाहिए ओडीआई में, क्या राय है आपका? अंशुल भाई बोल रहे हैं.
एक मिनट, आई थिंक फ्रीज
भूल गए इफ्तिकार अहमद कौन है?
मैं तो भूल गया इफ्तिखार अहमद को लेना
चाचू है।
मैं इफ्तिखार अहमद राव अंजुम को तो ला लिया पीसी को बोर्ड में
नहीं, चाचू चाचू।
चाचू को लाना चाहिए। हाँ चाचू, आई थिंक दैट्स व्हाई ऑल्सो नॉट एबल। हाँ इफ्तिखार को ला सकते हैं एक्चुअली। इफ्तिखार गया कहाँ वो भी मेरे को नहीं मालूम। आई थिंक T20 लीग में तो
People
भी
be
ले लेते थे।
specialist.
He could have actually gone to BPL or somewhere and played in this much time, I think, and focused on that aspect. Iftikhar ko la sakte hain, so definitely a good call to accelerate, like a third, 4 number, 3 number person. Agar Babar
Sharjeel is not in the squad, right? He was just in the probables.
Yeah, he's not there in the squad. Sharjeel is not there in the squad.
आपके ओपनिंग बैटिंग कौन रहेंगे? इमाम उल हक और फखर जमान।
शान मसूद भी है। शान मसूद, इमाम उल हक है, फखर जमान है ना।
तो कौन? बाबर एंड इमाम उल हक और बाबर एंड फखर एंड Imam, how is
again it will be depending if Babar wants to open or he wants to come back and play in an anchor role like Virat Kohli copy.
And if you want to pick from the bowlers, Usama Mir, no, Usama Mir. Let's go Shah Nawaz, Mohammad Wasim, Naseem Shah, and Hasnain. Which three would you pick?
I would
Who
pick
do you drop basically? Who do you drop?
वाला नसीम शाह है मेरे उसमें तो। मोहम्मद नवाज, मोहम्मद वसीम, शाहनवाज, दहानी, ये I think I would go Hasnain. I think I would go with Hasnain, and I mean flat wicket है ना यार, तो कितना ही स्पिन होगा सोच रहा हूँ मैं।
मेरे को ऐसा दिख रहा कि दहानी को शायद बिठाएंगे और हसनैन को बैक करेंगे। दहानी को करते रहते बेंच, तो आई डोंट नो, मे बी दैट्स व्हाट दे विल डू। और फिर स्पिनर भी कैसा खेलेंगे वो भी मेरे को देखना पड़ेगा। तैयब ताहिर इज 29 years old, is our age, तो
and then I guess बैटिंग तो है। हाँ, I think हारिस रऊफ भी है ये स्क्वाड में, तो again there's another
हारिस रऊफ है। हाँ, हारिस रऊफ भी है। Coming back from injury, Mr. Opa उन्हें है, तो फिर हारिस राव, नसीम शाह और आप शायद वसीम को ही लेंगे।
वसीम जूनियर को लेंगे आई गेस। तो अभी वही है कि पाकिस्तान
अच्छा, प्रेडिक्शन क्या? प्रेडिक्शन
न्यूजीलैंड जीत जाएंगे लग रहा है मेरे को, एंड न्यूजीलैंड विल बैट फर्स्ट एंड स्कोर अ वेरी बिग टोटल। I
mean Pakistan will win. Babar Azam century incoming.
शिपले आके बाबर आजम की साथ दबोच देंगे आप अगर वैसे लंबा शिपले आके चिपका देंगे बाबर आजम को। शिपली
बाबर की मतलब देखो, लाइक उन्हें ऐसा नहीं है कि पूरा फॉर्म चले गए, उन्हें आके मारता
यार। उन्हें तो फॉर्म में है, उन्हें टेस्ट मैच भी अच्छा खेला,
ऑन एंड ऑफ मार देता, मगर कंसिस्टेंसी जो थी लास्ट ईयर कोविड के टाइम पे, वो कंसिस्टेंसी थोड़ा लैक हो रहा, बट अदरवाइज उन्हें मार देता इधर उधर कभी कभी। तो
नहीं बाबर वाज ब्रिलियंटली 160 भी जो मारा, फिर उन्हें आई थिंक 50 भी मारा, 70 या कुछ मारा था। ही इज बीन वेरी गुड इन द सीरीज, एंड अब वनडे में देखना पड़ेगा उन्हें कैसा करता है ना शॉर्टर फॉर्मेट। आई थिंक लाइक यू सेड ही माइट परफॉर्म वेल, बट आई जस्ट फील इफ न्यूजीलैंड विन देन देयर विल बी गुड ड्रामा इन द प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस रूम।
Yeah, I mean वो तो सवाल उठेंगे, उन्हें नहीं आता, मगर I don't think he'll come at that after that. But yeah, that wraps it up. First, thank you so much for joining me. Tomorrow hopefully we'll be together and we will preview the the India versus Sri Lanka one day series. We'll review the Pakistan New Zealand and we'll look through the साउथ अफ्रीका। बोल्ट नहीं है ओडीआई में, नहीं बोल्ट नहीं है, इस वजह से वो जो T20 का जो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट था, ही उसको सेंट्रल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट नहीं है न्यूजीलैंड का। अब ही इज फोकसिंग ऑन T20 लीग्स, तो उसको लाइक हर सीरीज नहीं खिलाएंगे। मे बी बड़े सीरीज में शायद लेंगे, जैसे T20 वर्ल्ड कप में लिए, लेकिन वो भी थोड़ा मुश्किल दिखेगा। एंड या बोल्ट एंड आई थिंक गप्टिल एंड वन मोर प्लेयर हैव बीन फोकसिंग, आर नाउ शिफ्टेड देयर फोकस टू T20 leagues, and they're not going to give New Zealand their priority, so New Zealand would probably not give them their priority either. So that is the news coming out of there. Wraps it up, boys. Take care. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. भाई लोग अपने comments, भाई और बहन भी, last time बहन भी आए थे, तो whoever is joining us, just send in your comments, questions, and we will take them. Hopefully, looking forward to tomorrow. It'll be a good day, hopefully, and waiting for that press conference. That's what I can't wait for. Take care, guys. Have a good one, guys. Take care, man.
Bye, man.